Hello, beautiful people. How are you this very fine one? Sorry I wasn't around with you last night. Yesterday just turned into a shit fight. Technology failure. The technology failure was a lack of laptop. That developed from a lack of... Anyway, so I had one of those days where I had 3 things I wanted to accomplish. I managed to accomplish one of them in the end, which was a bit disappointing, but I did manage to drive through Sydney in peak hour and not hit anything. So got to be happy about that, I guess. Who was first in the house tonight? Harm was first in the house tonight. Harry, hope things are going well. Got your message. Yes, that boat, what a magnificent boat it is, the Sycamore. The other day, I don't know that I've got the pictures. Hang on a minute. Let me just see if I can grab one. So they've been, I've been lucky enough to be along a coastline for the last little while, a couple of days anyway. And one of those coastlines had a very interesting boat. In fact, they had quite a number of interesting boats that cruised past. And I was lucky enough to get a couple of photos. So let me just see if I can put a couple of them up here. They'll just take a couple of seconds to load up. So what I'm going to try and show you here is a... Wow, that's interesting. It's telling me that I can't load those for some reason. Let me remove a few other things. Maybe that's what it's upset about. And I'll have another go. There you go. Those there. Right, so we'll try and upload those 3. I'll give you a bit of a look. Now, I haven't had time yet to do too much investigation, but we're talking about a boat called the Sycamore. This is the Sycamore. Now, this vessel is not owned by the Australian Navy, but it is being leased by the Australian Navy. It has been seen in Sydney. It's been seen around, it can get up into quite shallow waters and is obviously capable of going quite deep as well. It's covered in those little white domes. I get the feeling that this could be a training ship for intelligence. So the Navy, along with just about everybody else, has intelligence assets, and the Navy, funnily enough, put a lot of those assets on boats. They don't necessarily paint them up and make them look like Navy boats. They can be fishing vessels or trawlers or big bulk carriers. So you need to learn how to drive all the associated machinery, and I'm thinking that that could also be part of that vessel's job. The other part, by the look of it, from what I saw watching it for a couple of days puttering around, it looks like it could also be doing some training for seamanship, driving the ship, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, running around 24/7, beautiful boat. So, interestingly enough, you do see that boat. I've seen it on the Gold Coast, I think, and you see it at times of big events. It goes into Sydney Harbour, during big events when there are big things happening on or around the water. And that's where I get the feeling, I don't know, and this is only me supposing, but the Navy have things like the Air Force have. The Air Force have aircraft they call snorkels, where they fly around in international airspace and suck up all the electronic transmissions. This could work something similar, but from the water. And if you were looking to try and do some eavesdropping on things, from the water is probably a good place to do it, just between you, me, and the gatepost. Anyway, so certainly a training vessel of some shape, form, or description. And look, they got to train on something. So good luck to them. Hello to Chris. Hello, Debs, Macca, Pamela N. Hello. Macca, I did say Macca. Hi, Cooker. Phil, I shouldn't call you Cooker. We'll get confused with, the Cooker. Mr. Bergworth, Smackdown time. Them there sounds like interesting words. Should I be sending you a link? I am going to send you a link. Because if we're going to smack down, I don't know who we're going to smack down, but it could be interesting. Give me one moment while I try and do two things at the same time and talk. Equally difficult on just about everything. I do have a little bit on tonight for the show, and Darren is probably going to need to wait just a little bit while I... that's not working at all well. That's the good Lord telling me I can't send you this link at the moment, Darren. What I do need to do is get a hold of the girls who are currently doing their night markets and are working their bums off at the moment in Melton. Now, I did have this hookup earlier, and the girls had to go off and do something, so I'll just send her a text and give her a couple of minutes, and then we'll get into the top end of what I've prepared for you. Now, I want to show you something. This is your choice. I haven't had time to analyze it. It is just something that I picked up last night and thought, that's interesting. I want to go and have another look at this. Is this a direct energy weapon, or is this some form of missile or other weapon? Yeah, all right. I'll show you again because it's very, very quick, and I would have slowed it down, but I haven't, like I say, I haven't had time to get all the gear out. So watch this again. And again. Now that's a trench in Ukraine, all right? And the message, the text message that was sent from that battlefield was, they are shooting lasers at us from orbit. Have another look. You reckon that looks like a laser? Doesn't look like a laser. It does seem to come out of thin air, but yeah, don't know. Very weird, don't you think? I mean, what? Direct energy weapon or missile, or some other inertia weapon. Tell them they're dreaming. What a very, very, very good idea you have. And just between you, me, and the gatepost, you might find there is more than one in the background. I'll say that now, but yeah, there is a silent mod. The problem has been, for the last couple of weeks, been unavailable, which has been a bit of a problem, but that's going to change. Hello, Peg. I don't think I said hello to you earlier. Cobram's still going good. I'm pleased to hear that. All right, great. Just seeing if there's anybody got anything. There you go. Pamela, definitely looks like a direct energy weapon, but instead of laser, it would be a plasma beam. Yep, that would be my thoughts too. Or a much smaller chunk of tungsten dropped from a great height. But yeah, I thought plasma beam too. I haven't had time to go back and find the vision from the destruction of the Georgia Guidestones. It would be interesting to compare the two videos, and particularly the two weapons used to take out the targets. So I'll try and do that. In fact, I might ask for the assistant, who's not even listening, to maybe look there. Oh, yeah, good, right. We may even have that at some stage to have a look at tonight. So, yeah, thank you very much. We talked a couple of times about music from the past and more relevant today. Here's one more that makes Q. Yep, lots of Q references. Well, speaking of Q, I have an interview that I've recorded that I am going to edit and going to play, and I might actually chunk it and play it over 2 nights. There's quite a lot to talk about. And 2 very separate but kind of joined things, and they relate to Q. So I'm looking like I'm going to have a bit of time tomorrow to be able to do that, and hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you tomorrow evening from Port Macquarie. Now, if you're in Port Macquarie, we'd love to see you. We have no idea where to go for dinner or where to catch up or what to do, but get a hold of Penny at my place and let her know that you'd like to be part of the team that's going to catch up. And I believe Penny knows all things, and probably where to get a good feed too. And we'll see if we can't meet up at some stage tomorrow night. The show, therefore, will by necessity be a little bit earlier, but that won't be a problem. We'll be in place in plenty of time for that. So if you're in Port Macquarie and you'd like to catch up, would love to meet you, love to shake your hand and say thank you very much. It's people like you that I love meeting, and it's people like 3 women who, I'll be honest, when I first met them, I thought, well, you know, they're crazy girls. They're really nice. They're a lot of fun. And I am so pleased now to tell you that all 3 of them are the loves of my life. They have helped me so much and in so many ways. In fact, there's 5 of them. I shouldn't be picking favourites. There's 5 of them, and I'll bring them up. Here's Becky O from Truthseekers. The lovely Sherry in the background. Look at you. Doris has got the bottle of wine. She's all sorted and happy and handy. And Beck, you're muted at the moment, so I can't hear you.
Sorry. Hi.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
On the way. Get Doris some supplies.
Clearly. Hey. So lovely to see you. And look, there you go. Everybody's climbing in. Hi, buddy. How are you?
Australia for freedom's here.
There you go.
Here's the show.
Hey, Doris, is that really coffee in the coffee cup? I'm asking for a friend.
100%.
Yes, of course. All right, girls, why have I got you in the show tonight? What the hell is going on? You're all looking like you're pretty partying.
How do I turn this screen around? Hang on a minute. Okay.
So tell us where we are. We're at Vic Organics or Vic West Organics.
Yeah, we're at Vic Organics. And
that went well. You turned yourself
trying to
off.
spin this thing around. So we're at Vic Organics, and they've got the local market, the Twilight Market today. There's Maddie.
Oh, beautiful.
Maddie, say hi to Carl. Carl, Voice of Freedom.
Hello, Maddie, darling.
Maddie's making her beautiful soup, Carl.
Oh, my God. Folks, if you can get to Melton now, get there. That soup.
Hi, Carl.
Hello, gorgeous. How are you going? Hey, guys.
How you going?
You got a great roll up tonight, but they all heard you were cooking again. Ladies and gentlemen, Maddie is just a beast of a cook. My God, can this lady cook? Absolutely stunning. Been through 2 husbands, fed them up so well. So,
yes, we've also got the spuds with a twist.
Oh, nice.
We've got a few other little markets here as well, Carl. So it's been going off. We've had some music going. It goes until 8 o'clock tonight.
Goes until 8, and where is the actual address?
The address is at Vic West Organics. Doris, what's the address?
Number 21, but I can't think of the name of the road.
Number 4, Unit 4, 21 Melton Valley Drive, Melton. Across the road from the Melton Golf Club.
Yes, should have remembered that part of it.
Let's show Carl around. We'll show you around, Carl. So
yeah, please do.
Okay, so we've got one market here. Go, Doris, explain.
Oh, well, we've got our beautiful community members set up with their creations. Lovely handmade creations. This is a beautiful Yvonne who makes resin art, but not only resin art. Okay, here we go. Oh, check out these pyramids filled with metals and crystals and copper.
So they transmute energy.
They transmute energy into positive. See? No,
Oh,
you've got to
wonderful.
show
And
Carl
also we've got some
these
little
amazing.
Just to confirm, there's no eyes in the pyramid anywhere?
no eyes, no eyes. And this is where you can contact. Can you see that, Carl?
Yes, can see that.
Yeah.
Nothing stopping you from adding googly eyes if you wanted to, but no.
What is there a website on the back of the card there that folks can go
Yeah.
to?
The website is.
You can take that one.
Can you say the website?
Ivona.art.
Ivona.
Ivona.art. But that's my Instagram.
Yep. Here we go.
Instagram page is probably the
Instagram.
best way
We'll
to
send
there
you
you
a
go.
screenshot of that one.
We shall. Look what we've
Righto.
been making.
Yeah.
We've been making
And this is
candles.
the
Beeswax candles. Activity for children.
Oh, so you can
So-
come and make your own beeswax
You
candle.
can make your own.
Make your own
candles.
beeswax.
I've actually just made some myself.
Wow.
We've got some great kid activities happening. We did have kids at the table, by the way.
Yeah. No, we don't show
Andrew
children for
is
obvious
our
reasons.
beautiful local honey
This is
beekeeper.
Andrew, our local bee honey keeper.
Hey, Andrew.
We stock his local honey as well.
Wonderful. That's because Doris's bees are lazy and don't
Well,
make
he's
enough
also
honey.
no. He's also my bee mentor, so he helps me with my
Right.
girls.
Right. There you go.
And
Well, I
we've
can
got
vouch for the
some
honey, folks.
Here,
It's magnificent.
another kid activity, the kids rock painting. Look at this. Look at that. What would you call this if you looked at it from afar? A
Colourful.
dessert tray table?
A dessert rock table of art.
That's it. Have a look at this.
Wow.
Check this out. Can you see that?
That's very talented, isn't it?
And she also does courses, is that correct?
Yes, so Michelle
We do our
does run our workshops.
Here we go. Here's some of the workshops. Here's the lovely Michelle. Say hi, Carl.
Hi, Michelle.
So we do run some dot painting workshops here, and Michelle has held 2, and they have been thoroughly enjoyed. Really
Brilliant.
thoroughly enjoyed. So
Brilliant.
hang on, before we go further. Look
Okay,
there's
and we've
another
got some-
artist over
We've got
here.
another artist here. You see that one, Carl?
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Jody.
And that's watercolor.
Watercolor.
Watercolor. Where can we find?
Where can we find you if we
more
wanted to
work?
get art? This is Carl from Voice of Freedom. Say hello.
Hi, how are you?
Nationwide, by the way. Is this all your work?
Yeah, that's all my work. These are both created with chalk, that one and this one.
These
They're
are all
drawn
chalk.
with chalk drawings. And this one's a painting.
Yeah.
And this one's a painting as well. This is the commission.
There's another one, Carl.
Yeah, wow.
So I charge about $50 an hour.
Wonderful work.
50 an hour?
Wonderful
Yes.
work.
If anybody wants to commission an artwork, just contact Madeline, I guess.
Yeah,
and they
contact
can
Vic West.
me.
My place, and they'll put you in contact.
Wonderful.
And now we've got some
We've got
candles.
candles and crystals.
This is Carl from Voice of Freedom.
Hi,
so
how are you?
I just bought some beads.
You bought some beads, did you?
Yes.
Oh, look.
This is the business card here.
Does anybody know what?
You're going to have to keep all these business cards and send all
I'm
the
keeping
email
them all,
addresses to me. You know
sending
that,
them
don't
to
you?
you.
Face roller. That's right.
Yeah.
A crystal face roller, people. Tightened your skin.
And where can people find you?
On Instagram under Honey,
Yeah.
Crystal Candles, or Al Shifa Holistic Therapies.
Beautiful. Look at all that.
Can I just bring your attention to this amazing chakra? What
Pendant?
would you
Hang up.
That's right. Isn't it just fabulous?
And you can go on their website too, Carl, and order for Christmas. And they're all the candles here as well.
And you should still be able to get it in time for Christmas if Australia
Still
Post
get it
is
in
still
time
out
for
there.
Christmas. Australia Post, if they're good. Yeah.
Look at this. Let me out. Merry Christmas.
Then we've just got some little nicks and nats here.
It is a Christmas themed a market, so a lot of gifts for Christmas. Lots
Yeah,
of
wow.
handmade, of course.
Feather and fawn. Yeah.
And a great, like you say, cash only. Well done, girls.
Have you got a business card? Yeah. And here we go. Here's a business card too, Carl. Feather and fawn.
Yeah,
I'm keeping
that's
these
Flair in a
business
bit,
cards
but
for
anyway,
you.
we'll figure it out. Beautiful, beautiful.
Then we've just got some jewelry.
Oh, look at some of this jewelry, actually.
I just bought a ring from there.
You just want to be. I was going to say, there is a ring that I have.
And then we've just got some mix and max. I think this one was here when you were with us, Carl. The marshmallows.
Oh, yes. Yes. And no, I
Oh,
didn't
boy,
have any.
Frida.
Thank you for the personal time. Hi, guys. How are you? Good to see you.
Come in, Chrissy. Some beautiful, fresh, homemade marshmallows.
Yep, they're delicious.
There's no
The mask
preservatives,
is
so
the
they're
best.
lovely.
And that's everywhere, if you can see that, Carl. I've got another card for you.
Wonderful. Good. I'll get all these details and post them up, folks. So
Let me
if you
just
have
look
any
at
interest
more
in exploring
creations.
the
Pick me
websites,
up. What are they? Tea blends.
We've got tea blends. We've got homemade
Red wine
jams.
vinegars. Bath crystals.
And then we've got some little nicks and knacks for Chrissy.
Check this out. How gorgeous is this?
And then
some
we've got
very
the coffee
creative
band.
and talented people in the world.
How gorgeous
And there's
Look at
and
the
there's two
combi
folks with
band.
exceptionally good taste in the combi
local
coffee
combi
band.
for a cause.
Yep,
Coffee van.
combi for a cause.
Awesome.
That's
Well,
about it, Carl.
That's great.
That's our Twilight Market.
And people, who aren't in Melbourne or New South Wales might think, gee, it's getting a bit late and it's still bright down there, even though it's cloudy evening. So your Twilight Markets, people come out until sort of 8, 9 o'clock at night. So you're open
Yeah.
until 8 tonight with a whole heap of entertainment for the kids if you come down.
Yeah, we do have singer. We have a singer here. It's been singing marvelous as well.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Hi.
Everyone's loving Carl. And then we're
Oh.
just back in the Vic Organic shop. Whoop. Doris and
Wonderful.
Maddie just designed their own labels as well, Carl.
I was sitting around the table at Doris's while that process was happening. So can you please show me the finished product?
Yep, so here we go. So this is the body wash here.
Right.
Doris did the labels.
Doris has done a brilliant job with the labels.
Yeah. And then we've got the organic hand lotion.
I can vouch for that. It's made
And
my
the
hands so soft.
shampoo.
We've got the organic spritz.
We've got the organic spritz.
That's the organic spritz. There is a different one
It's
on
for
the market
pets.
soon.
That one's for pets.
Oh, so that one's for pets. Right. I'm staying away from the obvious joke.
Yeah, so that's us in a nutshell. And we've got the
Wonderful.
library.
Have you seen the latest
Oh.
edition of the Lighter newspaper? Edition number
Wonderful.
9. The actual front page is quite interesting.
What's in the shot? A shocking discovery. No shit, Sherlock.
Right. Careful, don't read it out. You'll get me banned on the tube again. Hey, listen, girls, I'll let you go back to it because you've got a lot of people there. Thank you very much for giving us a bit of a look tonight. And I'm so glad to see that you're all partying on. It'd be happier if you all stood together in front of the camera rather than just showed us your left and right boob.
One moment,
The star of
You can't
the
leave
show.
yet.
The star of the show.
Oh, yes, you got the shirt.
I got the shirt.
Living the dream.
Can anyone hang on? You're
Oh,
getting
there
out
we
of
go.
focus. Can you see what it says?
Yep, Centrelink, living the dream. And that shirt was actually found on someone in Bali, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, Doris's mum was in Bali. And Doris was on a call with her and said, Mum, go get me how many?
10. Bring me back 10.
Bring back 10.
Great. That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, love your work. Thank you very much for everything and looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Love you long time.
Podcast
All right.
5 Sisters next week. Episode 2.
Sorry, say that again one more time. Plug it.
Podcast is
Yep.
coming. Episode 2 is next week. So
Oh, do we know what it's going to be about yet?
no, it's a secret. We don't give out what we're going to talk about.
Five Sisters podcast coming out next week. God help us all.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Oh, you're back. Well, I was going to go, but now you're here. I'm going to have to stay. I love you. I miss you.
I
Send food.
did want to go on the mic and sing a song for you, but the singer's going now.
Oh, really?
So I was
That's a
going to
bit
do a song. Guess what song I was going to sing?
You and I have sung this song without music.
I'm going to give you a sample. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. There you go. You like that? Just for you, Cole.
That's just a little bit frightening.
It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be.
It's wonderful, Maddie. You've got a wonderful voice. God love you.
Thank you.
And you've obviously run out of soup because I know you don't leave the food for any reason at all.
We're being demanding it. I was so tired, I didn't even bring it out. And then Doris, you know what Doris is like, she insisted. So I said, you go and get the soup and then I'll do the rest.
Well,
so we're warming it up and people are starting to eat it.
Well, it is about, and I'm not a big soup eater, but by God, your soups are just wonderful.
Well,
particularly on a cold, wet, rainy, drizzly, freezing, friggin' Melbourne summer's night. It's great.
It's the best thing to have.
Absolutely. God love you, girl. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye, Carl.
There you go. The Truth Seeker Chicks and my place in Melton or at Big West Organics. A great night there tonight, their Twilight Markets. Thanks very much, girls, for joining us. I'm blown away by that. So, yeah, bit of fun. And if you've got a market that, you've got coming up and you'd like to get on, if you've got artisans that are turning up and you can give them a bit of a plug, then we'll figure out. We'll probably have to give a few people a few lessons on how to talk into the microphone on the phone, because when you turn the camera away on the phone, the microphone goes with it. So you can tend to drift in and out and come in and out and in and out, and it gets a bit dizzying, as I'm sure you are aware. Now, let's get back into fun things for tonight's show. The Argentinian president. Have you seen the new Argentinian president, folks? God, we want this bloke here.
Y deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera. Aunque te resistas. Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología e Innovación, afuera. Ministerio de Trabajo, Empleo y Seguridad Social, afuera. Ministerio de Educación, Adoctrinamiento, afuera. Ministerio de Transporte, afuera. Ministerio de Salud, afuera. Ministerio de Desarrollo Social, afuera. Se acabó el curro de la política. ¡Viva la libertad, carajo!
When do we get one of them here? I mean, that is just spectacular. He is going to go in and redo everything in Argentina. And I have a funny feeling that there are many other places in the world that should be following suit, because many other places in the world are going to wake up to the news that many Americans did today, like this news.
People who eat hot dogs eat them because they taste so good. But what's in them is not so good. We've learned to accept it, but I don't know if you'll feel so accepting after this. The company Clear Foods recently analyzed 345 hot dog and sausage products from 75 brands and retailers and found, are you hot dog lovers ready for this? Human DNA in 2% of the samples and in 2/3 of the vegetarian samples. And get this, 10% of all vegetarian products appear to contain meat.
At this moment, I'd like to send my best to the vegan personal trainer in Melbourne. She's probably not feeling very well at the moment, I wouldn't have thought. And then, to the rest of you, I'm not going to put this picture up for long, but if you are of squeamish stomach, close your eyes. And if you're not of squeamish stomach, you may have to go back and pause this to have a good look at this picture. But McDonald's. We've said a lot about McDonald's, haven't we? So you've seen the headline. I won't let you get into too much detail about the pictures. Now, what do? Do you ignore it? Or do you start sharing this news with people? I haven't eaten hot dogs in quite some time. I am pretty comfortable that McDonald's I haven't eaten in long time. Since I really found out and believed that. Now, what did I find out? What made me believe? All right, I started out by hearing the rumor. I went and dug in on the rumor, found articles dating back to the 1970s where human meat had been found in the processing meat plant for the fast food giant. There was criminal cases, there were sackings, and there were jailings, I believe, in certainly one person's case. And that wasn't the person responsible for putting the meat in. That was the bloke, I think, who headed the factory. That made me dig a little deeper. Were there more instances? Who was that meat factory? Where do they get their meat from? I rang a friend of mine who works at an abattoir. I said, could you tell the difference between human meat and a cow if it was rolled past you? Because they just chuck all this meat into big square blocks. And he said, no, you'd never know the difference. You just wouldn't know. So that made me dig a little further. It made me look into abattoirs, what abattoirs were providing meat to the American chain, particularly, because bear in mind, the articles I was looking at were mid-late 70s and 80s. I looked at that company. Now, I urge you to do the same. All right? Urge you to do the same. Because that company is today, a global company. A global company. And you'll never guess who owns just about every big abattoir in this country, either directly or indirectly. So there's a rabbit hole you can go down and dig for yourself if it's one you particularly want to find yourself down. Cloud seeding is something we've been talking about a lot. I've had some very interesting conversations with friends of mine who are definite believers, definitely convinced we're being sprayed with something, and that something is not good. There have been reports recently in mainstream media about high levels of aluminium and barium and strontium that are adding to the fire risk in areas that don't normally see fire, but when a fire does go through, it's adding to the heat. What a shock and surprise that is. I've been talking to somebody else who's very much on the other side of it. Doesn't believe that chemtrails exist. Don't think that we're being sprayed in any way, shape, or form. So we were going to have a pretty good show about that, I think, and we still might. However, we're going to need to combat this right from the outset. This is from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. A chemical process intended to trigger precipitation is known as cloud what? Digging, planting, seeding, or weeding. So and that's a very early question, got to think everybody knows it, cloud seeding is the answer. Weather modification. That's cloud seeding is just the colloquial name for it. What they do is modify and engineer weather. And they need that seeding to begin the process. That's how it works. So I hope that might open another door for the person that wants to have that conversation on the show, because I think it'll make it an interesting show. Thanksgiving recently in the US of A. I didn't pay much attention until I saw this. I got a great giggle out of this. There's Joe. Oh, Joe, holding up a mashed potato filled spoon as he's dishing out Thanksgiving Day to the Marines, right? To the troops, to what they're doing. God bless America, all that. And I looked a bit deeper into that. And I sort of started looking at that guy and the guy behind him. And I thought, that's interesting. Clearly, I wasn't the only one, because somebody had bothered to put up the regulations for shaving and mustaches for the Marines. And none of what you are seeing in that picture is allowed. None of it. Unless there is some kind of religious or medical reason for you to have it. But I can't imagine that there are too many Muslims that close to the president. One looks like a chef behind him, and this bloke, well, I don't know what he looks like, but there you go. But they are the regulations. You can have a bit of a go at that. Just been pointed out to me by the assistant. His name is Colin. You can see on his breast pocket there, his name is Colin. Can't believe this shit, really, can you? A lot of shit people are having a hard time to believe is what's going on with Israel and Palestine. Now, one of the interviews that I conducted yesterday, we discuss what this person believes is actually really going on, and that Benjamin Netanyahu explained exactly what was going to happen to the UN a little while ago when he talked about pressing forward with plans to open a new canal that the Saudis were going to be involved with as well, that would allow greater shipping, greater access, shorter shipping times, a whole heap of interesting things. Unfortunately, most of that would have required all of Palestine to be taken into Israel, and the plan for all Palestinians to be pushed into Egypt. At least that's what I've been told in the interview that I did yesterday. So that's something else that I'll be cutting up tomorrow, hopefully. Same guy. We covered a lot of topics, and he has a lot to say on that subject. He has a lot to say on many subjects, actually. Freemasonry has a lot to say on A1, Ricardo Bosi, and has a lot to say on a couple of other topics that we normally don't touch on. So this program that will happen tomorrow night, I will let you know after I've done the editing, because I just can't put the whole thing up as it is. I normally wouldn't edit an interview, but for a technical reason and because of the content, I have to be very careful about what I'm going to put up on YouTube at the moment, because I'm sitting on strikes and all sorts of shit. That means I could disappear again. So if I do have to make edits that aren't suitable for YouTube, rest assured I will have a completely unedited version available on Rumble at the same time. So we'll figure out how that's going to go. But anyway, have you heard of the Balfour Agreement? And, do you actually know what any of that was all about? Do you know how Israel came into being? So Palestine had been the seat of many wars, or many battles, I should say. And for a long time, It was owned or run, controlled by the Muslims, and then eventually the British moved in. Now, that was back in the 60s, or the British was moved in, I think, back in the 40s, or after the Second World War. So this is how it all transpired. I'll read it for you so you don't have to. It's something out of a newspaper. Mr. Balfour has sent the following letter to Lord Rothschild in regards to the establishment of a national home in Palestine for the Jewish people. I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty's government the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty's government view with favour the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavours to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. And with a stroke of a pen, Israel was created. Now, the Balfour Declaration, which is what that document, if you like, that establishes Israel, ran out on the 31st of October last. So, weird. Very strange. What's going on? Well, there's still a lot of fighting, but right now it looks like there is also a little bit of not backpedaling, but at least it seems there's been some ceasefires and they're letting some people go on both sides, which I've got to say I'm a bit surprised about. But let's just keep watching and see what happens. Hey, I have been taking a bit of an interest in cancers lately. Some friends of mine, unfortunately, have been afflicted by it. Not this particular cancer, a different one. But I was interested to learn that this particular cancer is pretty
to you all about sunlight and its benefits.
Sunlight reduces the size of internal cancerous tumors.
I thought sun causes cancer.
Well,
everybody
actually,
says stay out of the sun because it causes cancer.
That's right. They did a study at Baylor University where they took two groups of experimental animals. They gave one the standard American diet, which is terrible. They gave the other one a highly nutritious diet. Then they exposed both groups of animals to the ultraviolet rays of the sun. In the group on the standard American diet, 25% got skin cancer. In the group on the highly nutritious diet, not one animal got skin cancer. It's the way we're eating. Skin cancer is a relatively new phenomenon in the last 60 years or so, and yet our ancestors for hundreds of years have been living outdoors, working outdoors, and they didn't get skin cancer. It's a new phenomenon.
Who knew? Little interesting, hey? So when you look at it like that, it makes perfect sense. My grandmother, I remember my grandmother talking to me about skin cancers, and my grandfather, who died at 96 years of age, never had anything like that removed off him, and he worked in the paddocks all his life. He was a farmer all his life. Never got worried by skin cancers. In fact, we didn't see too much about skin cancers until the 80s. From memory, and I was a child of the 70s running around with nothing remotely like, pardon me, just turn off the CB. Yeah, I was one of those kids running around without zinc cream, without any kind of slip slop slapping at all, until the slip slop slap message started coming through. And I remember, not with glee, but with painful memories, sheets of skin coming off my back after being sunburned. And my poor old snoz copped it pretty hard. One summer, 14 layers of skin came off my nose. It was just continually shedding. Touch wood, no skin cancers at the moment. So I have had The odd little dark spot taken off of the driving arm, though, because that's been forever hanging out in the sunlight while driving. But drink more water is the best prevention, says Pete. Well, you'd know a bit about that, and that where you live, skin cancer would be a thing. But you look good in a big hat, mate, in a cowboy hat, so to speak. What chemicals are in the sunscreen? My God. I couldn't begin to tell you. Well, I can look on the back of a bottle. But I know aluminium is in sunscreen. There are lots of things that end in scene and like CINE, sign, and long names, sound like medical things. Nothing good. Is there a natural kind of sunlight repellent? I don't know. Because even our First Nations people have to be concerned about sunburn. They do get burned. So, I don't know. Aloe vera is very good, though. If you've got an aloe vera plant and you get sunburned this summer, break a leaf off, rub it all over yourself. No more pain, no more nothing. And the burn essentially gone. Works for any burn, not just sunburn. Love aloe vera. Thank Col Elliott for that knowledge. He taught me that one night. Where were we? In some little place, Tumut. We were. I used to be at one point in my life Col Elliott's tour manager. And we were in Tumut doing a show. And I, as part of my tour manager's job, I had to iron Col's shirt to go out on stage. And Cole, being ex-Navy, he used to have his shirt ironed like a rig would be ironed. Your uniform would be ironed. So I'd iron his rig for him. And one night in Tumut, I burned myself like really badly with the iron, drove it into my forearm. And there was a lot of screaming, a lot of swearing, a bit more screaming, no tears, just screaming. And Cole came in, told me to stop being a child. Walked me outside, busted off this leaf of a spiky looking tree that I thought he was just going to jab me with, and then squeezed the juice out over the burn. And I got to tell you, within 30 seconds, the pain was gone out of it. The next day, there was barely a mark where I thought I was going to have an iron imprint on my forearm for life. So, aloe vera, straight out of the plant. Don't go to the chemist. I made the mistake of going to the chemist and buying a bottle of aloe vera. Don't do that. It's full of chemical shit and very little aloe vera. And they put colouring in it, for God's sake. So I gave up any thought of buying aloe vera from the chemist when the bottle hid the colour of the one that I bought. When I got it out in my hand, it was blue. Like the kind of blue that you get on a toilet lolly. Oh, you girls probably don't know what toilet lollies are. In male urinals, you get these little hard things. Well, you used to. Nowadays, they're mats, but we used to call them toilet lollies. And, that's what they look like, a blue toilet lolly. Anyway, castor. Organics helps all. Joe, I've heard castor oil is exceptionally good for many things. If you're feeling a bit stuck up, stopped up, not stuck up, then castor oil, pinch your nose, throw it down your... I do remember it as a kid. My mum used to do that to us. Well, I'm not sure if it was for punishment or because there was something wrong with us. But on the odd occasion, we did used to get castor oil. And if it was for punishment, I probably bloody deserved it. Thank you, Daniel. Yes, got to cover up. Cotton shirt, says Pete. Highly visible clothes too. Oh, attract bees. Yellow is transparent to bees. How is it they land on all the yellow things and suck the... Well, I guess they see it as a different colour, don't they? How interesting. What a wealth of information you are tonight, Pete. Thanks. I guess in Pinaroo, when, the sheep are sheeping and the hay is haying, you do a lot of reading. Very cool. Peter is a marvellous man. I'm having a bit of fun with him. But I met Peter on my trip to South Australia, or more particularly on my way back from South Australia. And I sat and enjoyed, I don't know, a couple of hours of Pete's time, a wealth of knowledge. He taught me many, many things. And I still have some refrigeration stickers to put on. That'll mean something to him, nothing to you. Couldn't stand the smell of castor oil. I'm with you, Aussie Sue. Just the thought of getting the castor oil gave me the shits. I didn't need it anymore. So, no, worked out all right in the end. Well, in the other end, if you know what I mean. High vis is a cause for skin cancer. I haven't heard that one, Pete. I'd like to see the paperwork on that. That would be fairly interesting. What's going on with the Goozy and Burrow situation? Martin, what's going on with the Guru and Bosie situation? What Guru and Bosie situation? I am unaware of a Guru and Bosie situation. Have they had a falling out? I don't know. I was going to catch up with Guru yesterday and surprise you all. Unfortunately, due to my brain fade and technical issue, he was one of the things that I had to drop in order to get to another interview that I definitely couldn't miss. So timing-wise, it just fell apart. He got caught up with something in the morning. I hung around for a couple of hours, didn't really work. And then when I got ready to go and find him, I discovered that the laptop wasn't where it should have been. So that necessitated some backtracking, which was nerve-wracking and just a little painful. And then by the time I'd sorted all that out, I needed to get onto my next place. So unfortunately, I missed seeing him yesterday. So if there is Guru and Bosie news, then I have no idea of what the Guru and Bosie news is. If you're referring to anything to do with that troll that came in the other night, there is no news. That was a troll trying to be divisive and ridiculous. And I've actually had a message from Cooker Watch, who has disowned all knowledge of and anything to do with that particular incident. So thank you to her for getting in contact and letting me know. I mean, I couldn't care less. She did say she did find it very funny, which you would expect of her. But it was nice to say it wasn't her. And it wasn't anybody that she knew particularly, I don't think. So, but it doesn't matter. Trolls are trolls, and not going to be distracted by them. Any perceived divisions that you might see or perceive between Guru, Bosie, and I are only your perceptions. We are fighting the same war. We are fighting the same enemy, I think, for the most part. And until such time as it can be proved otherwise, then I won't be coming out and attacking them in any way, shape, or form. They're fighting it their way. They want to do it by themselves. I don't understand that logic, I admit. And when I spoke to Dave the other day, because yes, we have spoken about the whole North thing. It's just stupid. Yeah, I don't understand the way that they're going, or the way that Bosie seems to be going. Because when I was talking to Guru, he was wanting to come on and preach unity and everybody together, and yet that seems to be different to the piece that I've seen from Ricardo. Which was sent to me the other night, which very directly is saying something different. So I don't know. There seems to be a bit of confusion in the camp in that regard, or I misheard. I don't know. Either way, it's not earth-shattering, and there is no problem. There is no division between us. Trust me, if Dave called and said the war has begun and I need you here for whatever reason, then we're going to guard his back. All right? Just the same as I hope he would guard mine if the call went out. And if he won't, then I hope you will. If not, I live and die by what comes out of my gob. So God help us. I'm not sure whether or not you're allowed to send food into jails anymore, but if you are, Maddie, Girls from Request, might be able to get a soup into me. Can't hide a file in a soup. Good night from under. From under, where are you, Sunflower? I know where you are. From under. That's something I'm missing. But there you go. Aussie Sue. You've not heard any one of you three talking about the others. Well, I don't talk about Tricky for obvious reasons. Beck Freedom and I have some conversations in the background, but nothing regular or anything like that. I know she's trying to organise something at the moment, which I support her trying to organise, and she never said I was getting an invite to it. She just said there's an email coming, but I haven't seen it. And I gather she's probably run into a similar awakening as I did, is getting something like this on the scale this needs to be organised is quite a deal. You've got to try and get everybody's calendar together and find not just a day. You need probably 3 days minimum. 5 would be better, because that's what it's going to take. We've got to nut this out, and at the end of it, walk out with one message, or at least the same message. That would be useful. I do think that we are getting closer to that. And with JFK's assassination now, live in America, so to speak, I haven't had a look at what's going on in America at the moment with markets, etc. I'm a bit intrigued that there is starting to leak into mainstream media some reports that Donald Trump died in 2022. I find this very interesting because there have been rumors of this for some time. And if they're using masks on one side, why wouldn't they use them on both? Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I did also hear that Ivanka Trump was murdered shortly afterwards because she was going to expose the whole thing. And I don't know if that's true either. Just an interesting tale that in hindsight, in a week, a month, a year, 10 years, might be worth knowing, saying, oh yeah, I knew that. But God, if that is the case, that is just truly horrendous. And essentially, from the story that I heard is that they pushed her down a set of stairs. So I don't know if that's the case. Really, really don't know if that's the case or not. Really hope it's not. Just for the Trump family, that would be terrible. And her family, she's got small children. However, there is a lot going on in the background, and whether or not that's true or not makes no difference, I don't think. There is a lot happening in the banks. The financial markets are doing weird things in the finance industry. Certain market indices are going up when there is nothing actually backing them or going into them to support the rise. It's almost like this duck is being, or what do they have? Turkeys for Thanksgiving is being plumped, ready to burst. And I suspect much sooner rather than later. So if you have the opportunity, get some silver now. And if you've got the dollars, get some gold too. Why not? But silver is affordable. AinsleyBullion.com.au, buy it online, and they'll get it to you. Now, I got told by Michael from Ainsley the other day, and I have since heard from other people who've bought bullion from other sellers and had it shipped to them, that those other sellers charge up to 3.5 to 4 times more for the secure transport than Ainsley Bullion do. That doesn't mean that Ainsley Bullion's service is any less. It's not. It is exactly the same, and it is fully insured. So once your purchase is made and it is shipped, it is fully insured by Ainsley, so that if for whatever reason it doesn't arrive at your doorstep, then you've lost nothing. They'll just send you more. You don't have to worry about it. But their shipping cost, I think, my friend was telling me, was $17, whereas some of the others were as high as 48, and over that, in fact. So if you want to save a few bucks on shipping and you don't want to walk into an Ainsley Bullion office, either in Collins Street or Melbourne or in Creek Street in Brisbane, then go online, ainsleyBullion.com.au, and get yourself a silver coin. Get an Ainsley one, get a Skippy, get the cheapest coin that you can, because now we're hearing from, let me just see whether or not I've got that video in here to line up for you. I did find a very interesting video, and I don't think I have. It's not the right file format. I'd have to convert it, and that's going to take too long while I'm talking to you. I'll play it for you tomorrow night, though. But there is a very good explanation of the finance markets, how they've been playing it, and how they're plumping it. And yeah, get silver, get gold, get into precious metals. Back yourself. If you have the opportunity well, you do have the opportunity to get your super out, get that in train now. Once the paperwork is signed, it's done deal. Whether you've got the money yet or not, they have to provide it to you. So get onto it. If you haven't done your self-managed super fund yet, Cass Smith and the team from Freedom Financial Solutions are the best in the business. They've been doing nothing but that for the last couple of years, just for people in the freedom movement, or people like you and I. And they can help you if you don't have a big super balance. They can help you by bringing together maybe 4 to 6 of you who've got smaller balances, and you can join together, pay one fee, and get all of your supers out individually. And yes, you can convert it to gold and silver, and yes, you can individually take your share of that home and keep it. It does need to be audited, so you can't go off and spend it. But there is many other things you can do that make it eminently useful. So yeah, try and do that. Sherry, I did say Sherry was in earlier tonight at the Vic West night markets, I'm sure, on the intro. So hello to Sherry. I think somebody said she was a bit upset I didn't see her. I did see her. God, love the blue shirt, girl. Right. Joe King. No, but now you've said it, there'll be a lot of people go scrambling for his 2017 interviews. He must have only done, 365 days a year. Trump 2017. There's probably 250 interviews he's done, maybe 300. He's probably done more than one a day. But there's Saturdays and Sundays in there. So yeah, probably more than 300 interviews. We'll try and nail that down. Might be a little difficult. What else is there going on here? Perth Mint. Oh, Pete, tell me about this. What happened here? Perth Mint's the one that stiffs me on freight. I can't even say that word. Newsmatic? Gonna have to look that one up. And add one bullion product, they slug you. Wow. Oh, okay. Well, somebody who's running Australia Post these days, mate, and they have to get a golden handshake payout at the end of it, like everybody who came before them. And I guess this is the way you build up the revenue to do that. Brett reckons go and buy physical, look up local bullion dealers. Yeah, sure, you can. Some of them are quite good, but if you're looking to buy a large amount, odds are your local little bullion dealer isn't going to be able to provide it for you, at least not without you handing over all your money first. And this has happened. I've learned this from some sources where some of these bullion companies, it's very interesting, some of these bullion companies actually, can I just get you to go up? Sorry, I'm speaking to the assistant. Can I just get you to go up and hit that red button? You'll need to put a little light on so you can see. Push the red button in and it'll just push in, and then hold the white button and then the green one. Oh, you've just reset. All right, that's a good start. Now, seems like I'm not plugged in nearly quite as well as I thought I would be to power for some reason, because the lights keep going out. Either that or I've got a bit of water in something that I shouldn't have, and we're sparking. Might have to go and have a look at that. Assistant, man the fire extinguisher just in case. We will, yes, the assistant, I'll introduce the assistant to you tomorrow. Yeah, that's tripped again. That's something weird going on. All right. We might have to cut this short, because very shortly the modem that I'm on is going to turn itself off when all this keeps going. So, folks, we will be back on tomorrow night, and we'll be in Port Macquarie. So if you're in Port Macquarie, we would love to see you. The assistant, I'm led to believe, will be around. So with a bit of luck, you'll be able to catch up on who's who in the zoo there. And, well, there might be one or two surprises in the morning too. You never know. We might have a live in the morning. Just a little tip between you, me, and the gatepost. Shit, we're going to have to go. Love you, folks. Thanks for watching. And stay out of the way of the dickheads on the roads.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?